Amy Klobuchar, the Minnesota prosecutor, Senator Nice, who got in trouble with some of her staff talking about how she was not nice. In fact, was one of the world's worst bosses with the way she treated them, is now getting a lot of sort of heat on her decisions not to prosecute police officers who shot unarmed, or at least unarmed besides their fists, black males when she was a district attorney. These former tough-on-crime types are going to have a real trouble spot, I think. Kamala Harris, same boat too. A woman who offhandedly jokes about smoking marijuana while there are people likely in prison today that she put there because of smoking marijuana. That's a tough and bitter pill to swallow, and I hope that people don't swallow it. Another thing that Klobuchar and Harris have in common is that they are two of the four co-sponsors of a new horrible piece of legislation. Well, new is a rehash from last year. It's this TV cameras in the Supreme Court bill. It was introduced by Chuck Grassley, a Republican, last year when he was chairman of the Judiciary Committee. He has this idea that opening up the Supreme Court to video cameras will somehow benefit the country. I would say that when he commanded the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing for Kavanaugh's confirmation, we saw the reason why we need to make sure Supreme Court hearings are not televised. And the reason is they were out of control. Chuck Grassley did not maintain control of his hearing. For the senators themselves, their invited guests, and the gallery all popped off, making a mockery of it. And that's exactly what's going to happen to the Supreme Court if they are required to admit TV cameras. The other thing is, what about the constitutional issues? How can the Congress of the United States tell the Supreme Court what to do with their proceedings? How is that not a violation of the Constitution? The Supreme Court's rules and what guides them and the rules they're required to follow are laid out in Article 3. That's the article of the United States Constitution that controls the Supreme Court. And nowhere in Article 3 does it say, oh, and Congress gets to tell the Supreme Court who can watch the proceedings and how. So they're setting up potential for a constitutional crisis. It's bad all around. And they need to heed the words of my favorite Kavanaugh hearing protester.
Vote no! Be a hero! Vote no! You have a responsibility to all Americans!
Does anybody really think that more media is the answer here? Well, I hope not. I don't want to have to read about the fashion choices of the justices as we continue down into our descent from the republic that was.